I'm in the stunning Eastern Cape to find out more about a cultural practice that has existed in this part of the country for a very long time. Ukuthwala is a form of marriage whereby a man abducts a woman, literally like kidnaps her, takes her back to his home and makes her his wife. Now, obviously, I am against this because, I mean, it violates women. It completely obliterates the rights that a woman has to her own personal dignity and choice. But now this practice has been here for a very long time. People are still married according to this practice even now, and I'm told that this practice makes marriages last. So I'm here to find out if there is actually any merit to this cultural practice. Is Ukuthwala a good thing? I'm in Kamata, the great place, to speak to Inkosi Ngangomhlaba Matanzima. He is the spokesperson for King Matanzima. He's also the traditional chief of the Hala tribe, and he's the head of the House of Traditional Leaders here in the Eastern Cape. So I think he's a good person to give me some background to this Ukuthwala practice, you know? Tell me, like, where does it come from, and what is its relevance, significance for today's times?
She's married. And she was not aware that she was going to be married. And the two families negotiated her marriage without her knowing. Then she was twalad. This one also, I think she was married around about 1990 without her knowing. Yes, yeah.
This custom was the only way, well, before, it was the only way in which people initiated relationships.
Yes. According to our custom, the marriage is not between the two persons. It is between the families. A family would want to have a wife from a certain family. Then onozaguzagu will be sent to that family. That is the negotiators. Then after that, if there is any agreement that, all right, we'll pay so much lobola, and it will be agreed that, right, this lady will be sent to a shop on a certain day. Then when you see her, pick her up and take her home.
So the negotiations take place. There's consent between the families, but there's no consent from the girl herself.
That's it. Naturally, this is not nice. A lady will cry and shout and do everything. But when she's here, this young man is not allowed to come nearer to this woman. Then 2 men or 3 will be sent to her to talk to her, coming from her own home, to say to her, don't run away from this place. We know that you are here. You are being married here.
Thank you very much, Ngosi. I really appreciate you speaking to me.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, my rainbow mom. Hey. Now I'm going to disturb. Please, can you tell me how you got married?
I got shot in 1980.
1980.
Shot in Gamas. That's Ngasan.
Next.
That was Lamslang, the tattoo. This one go up.
How old were you that time?
16 years.
Was he older than you, or was he your same age when you got married?
42.
Yo!
42 years. Ndathunywa nje kuloo lali. Lo mhlanje ndizawuthatha nomyeni wam. Ndathunywa nje kuloo lali ukuthi mandiye ndothenga le nto kuthiwa ngumqombothi. Xa ndithi kule lali ndibone utata abangathi bayedlula phaa kwam abadada. Utata sebekholile. bandithathe bandinyusele phezulu bandinyusele phezulu ndingakwazi nokukhala ndibindeke nje vele ndivaleke ndikothuka nje ndivaleke ndingakwazi ukuthenga ndingakwazi nokukhala sizongena kule ndlu kube khona ndikwazi ukukhala kwasendilapha endlini bese ndigityiselwe amashelimane ndibhinqa ethubeni angene lo mfo uthe ncothu umnyama lo mntu ngutata xa engena kuthi naku umyeni wakho ndiphinde ndiqale phantsi ukukhala emveni kwe-5 days yena kuzofika abantu basekhaya ndibone ukuthi okay ndiyatshata ndiyamosabe kule ndoda ngokuqinisekileyo mos ngabazali mama bakholwe ukuthi mandibe ndikumama notata apha kweli khaya ngabazali bamosa abakholweyo so mandinyamezele ndihlale noxa ndingayazi nje le nto mandihlale kuba kukholwe abazali bami hayi ndibe ndiqomba le ndoda xa ndiyijonga ndiyawoyika kuba ndiyazi mos mari kodwa ndathi ndayiqhela kunjalo xa kunamhlanje sayindiyithanda mpela.
That first year when you were married to him, how did you feel?
Lokuqala ndisazifuna ukuthi kanye kwenzeka ntoni kum wade waphela unyaka ndizifuna ngaba ngumyeni wamnyani lo qha xa ndiyicinga le nto xa ifika apha kum uphinde kufika umbuzo uthi apha entliziyweni nam awu kanti kanene ngonditshata mos ngabazali bam abandikhululeyo.
What was it that made you accept this man as your husband, you know? What was it that made you to love this man?
Mandiluthando lwakhe kum nokundanelisa awayengenanto ayindikrokrisa ngayo wayendikholisa kuyo yonke into
lona ndingazange ndisuke ndathathwa nje siye sahlala andizuphosisa yimpatho ntle eyafika ke ngoku yathi phaa ethubeni isoloke ingandinqunguphalisi phinde yimpatho apha endikuyo zange bandiphathe njengomntana ongongowabo.
For both of you, do you think Ukuthwala is a good thing?
Yayilungile ngoku andiyikhuthazi kweli xesha lanamhlanje yayilungile ngoko kwela xesha lokuqala kwela thuba lokuqala kuthi xa kungoku abantwana bethu usawumnyanzelisa emendweni mhlawumbi esawufumana lo mendo sasofumene thina angazixhoma angazibulala.
Mna xa bendisanduzalwa ngoku bendingazi ukulinge nditshate ngoku bendizawufunda okanye bendizawuphangela.
I'm on a journey to try to find out if there's anything positive in this cultural practice, but I'm not finding it. Like, the most positive thing that these women told me about their marriages was that the men that they married were capable of supporting them and that they didn't want to disrespect their families, they didn't want to disrespect their parents. I mean, I live a life where I can make very different choices. I acknowledge the fact that there are many women in South Africa and in the world who are married to men who provide for them, who don't necessarily have the same freedom that I have to make different choices around their relationships. But I mean, the fact is I do have that freedom. I do have those choices. And I think that marriage has to be about more than just being provided for, you know? A woman is not just a parcel that moves from her family's home to her husband's home. Like, and these women both told me that if they lived in this time, they would have made different choices. They would have chosen to leave. They would have chosen to study. They wouldn't have chosen to stay in those marriages. So what does that say, you know? I'm looking for something positive in this and I'm not finding it.
Celebrate Africa Day on SABC 1.
Telelakime is 23 years old. She works at a local tavern, and I found out that when she was 18, she was abducted. I want to find out from her what that experience was like, whether she pressed charges or not, and what life has been like since. Hello, sis. Kunjani? Ngiphilile. Ngingakhuluma nawe kancane ngaphandle. Okay, ngiyabonga. Can you please tell me what happened when you were 18 years old?
Kokunane-18 years kwaye kwenzeka into yoba ndibe kanti ndizayigqibela emzini 18 years yam. Like ndandisencinci ndingekazi into, so into eyayenzeka ngelinye ilanga ndandisiya emlanjeni ndihamba nomntana wasekhaya omncinci. Ndathi xa ndisendleleni efika emlanjeni ndadibana kwakho abafana abayi-2 abathi gqi. Andabahoya because ndandingabazi. Ndahamba bafika abafana bamqhuphula ndabe sendikhala babe behamba nam. Ndafika kule ndlu kulo mzi ndafakwa endlini engurawundi, izindlu zesiXhosa. Kwavalwa ndabe ndikhala. Kwazongena umama bayi-2 bafika bephethe amajamani nekhetshemiya bandinxibisa ndabe ndikhala still. Emveni koko baphinda bavala baphuma bahamba.
Did anyone say anything to you about what was happening? Did anyone say why you were here?
No.
Nothing?
Ndihleli nje akho mntu uthoyo uba ngoku kwenzeka oku ke ngoku akho mntu uthini.
Sure.
Umntu ongenileyo ungena etshintshe apha ebusweni. Angene enze into azoyenza aphuma ahambe. Vuka kusasa waphinde wazovula umama walapha ndaphuma. Wathi mandiye endlini enkulu, ndafika endlini enkulu. Ufika endlini enkulu kwathathwa i-emera kwathiwa mandihambe ndiye emlanjeni. Ndahanjiswa nomntana enoba une-8 years. Ndahamba ndaya emlanjeni. Into ndafika ndayenza mna emlanjeni ndafika ndabekela pheli. Ndaqhulula ezaa nto ndabe ndanxiba uthayithi ngaphantsi. Ndashiyeka neskipa ndahamba. Ndashiya laa mntana phaya. Ndahamba ngenyawo still ndayofika kwadadobawo kwenye ilali kuwela umlambo. Ndayofika kwadadobawo ndafika kwadadobawo ndahlala ndatsho uba kutheni. Ndathi qha ndibethwe ngumama ekhaya so noma ndihambe. Ndahamba ndakhwela into ezibheka etawuni ndeze etawuni. Ndifika etawuni ndakhangela iibhasi eziya eKapa ndakhwela into eKapa ndahamba ndawuqabela eKapa komnye umzala wam. So eKapa ndihleli i-2 years.
Did you ever tell your mother or your family what happened?
No.
Why?
Like engqondweni yam ndanalaa nto uba ubaxelela kwam bazawuzama indlela zoba bandifune kule ndawo ndikuyo because andimazi oyena unesigqibo sale nto uba ngomphi na. Sekonzeka uba kugqityiwe ngam ekhaya uba mandibe kanti ndiya emzini.
What do you think of those women who kept you in there and locked you and made you stay there?
Ngathi xa ndinobabona ndingakhe ndibalimazi kakubi.
I'm surprised ukuthi another woman can do this to another young woman because, you know, she should know how it feels. When did you think that they would help you when? You didn't? No. Did you ask them?
Yes.
Yeah. What did they say? That was very difficult. That was my most emotional interview. At a certain point, I even felt bad about doing it, you know? And I mean, I'm not Mother Teresa, I'm not Jesus, you know what I mean? I can't walk around healing people. I didn't know what to do, so all I could do was just sit there with her and cry. I'm in Idudra, which is about an hour outside of Umtata. I'm at the Ikamagu Institute to speak to Dr. Nogzola Ndende, who is an academic, who is the founder of the Ikamagu Institute, and is also a practitioner of traditional Xhosa religion. I want to get her take as a woman, as a traditionalist, as an academic, somebody who straddles all these different worlds. What is her take on Ukuthwala? Molweni. Molo mama.
Molo sir.
Ninjani?
Siphilile Kama.
Danki.
Kunjani kuwe?
Danki mama.
Oh, ulebo.
Ma.
Oh, hayi siyavuya ukubona abantwana bam. Into ekunayo ke ngoku, there's one problem. You know, in this institute, we are teaching, we are reviving African customs, we are reviving African morality. The dress code. I've got a problem with your dress code now.
I'm very sorry, Mama. I didn't know my Bogart was banned.
No. It's banned here in Bogart.
It's banned here.
It's banned.
Okay.
You have got this tendency to say, because you were told, that, oh, African culture is outdated, is barbaric, is bad, is sexist. And you are talking of a colonial African culture. You are not talking of a pre-colonial. So these are the things that we are teaching here.
Did it change? Did it change when white people came? Did African culture change?
Exactly.
Did it become sexist when white people came?
Yes. You know, I must admit, we are coming from a patriarchal society.
We must sit down and talk this,
okay,
Mama. This is heavy now.
Yeah, this is heavy.
This is
because
heavy
we
now.
are coming from a patriarchal society.
Okay.
But when the white man came, together with his religion, when they came here, now our African culture changed. In the beginning, we had just gender roles. No gender was above each other. But because now of the introduction of migrant labor, so this man goes to Joburg to work, I stay here.
Earns money there.
Earns money, and he sends me money, and he comes back with money. Now, when he wants to get married, it's his choice now. It's either he marries the one that he has been involved with, or he sees another girl, a younger girl, that, hey, I would like to marry that one. And then we'll talk to the parents. He is the initiator now. He's the initiator. And then, being the initiator, I'll talk to the father. Okay, and then the Twala thing started.
Because he's got money in his pocket now.
Yeah,
because the whole system is dependent on money now.
Yeah, no, the whole system is dependent on money. Ukuthwala is bad. I just want to tell you that. Ukuthwala is bad because it's sexist. This young girl is being taken without her will. And being taken without her will, the way she's being taken, she's sent somewhere, and then when sent, now these men have arranged themselves. Now, if this man twallas me, and today he rapes me, and then and so on, then to me, to go back, now the society will know that Unokzola has been twalad, so she's no longer a virgin. So then I will have to decide, what should I do? Should I go back or should I just stay? Because I'm no longer a virgin.
Yeah.
So, bahlale kunjani.
Wena, Mama, what do you have to say to these so-called hardcore traditionalists who say that Ukuthwala is our culture, it is the way that we do things, it is the way that we've done things as Africans?
The people you are talking about, the so-called, because I would say so-called traditionalists. First of all, they are very selective. They choose those aspects of the custom, mind you, of the custom that suit themselves. You know, when you look at those chauvinists or the misogynists, they would say, I'm a man.
Yes.
Yeah, I am a man. First of all, what is to be a man?
Thank you.
They don't know what is to be a man.
Thank you.
Because to be a man, it goes together with responsibility. To be a man, it goes together with following the right customs. Customs that are not destructive, customs that are constructive.
I've been waiting to hear from an African woman's perspective a balanced view on this tradition, you know? Something that affirms me as a woman. I appreciate.
Thank
Hey,
you.
hey, you're a powerhouse, right, Nana?
It is our responsibility to teach our children because they are the future, and let us tell them the truth. You know, most people are saying African culture is outdated. Which culture is not outdated? Because in a tendency you think about Western culture is absolute. Western culture is above time. Even now it's not above time. It changes with time.
Yeah.
As African culture is changing with time. But what they are doing, they are things that they are keeping from their own cultures. So, because culture has got different levels. Superficial, the mid one, and the deep culture. So keep the deep culture.
Yo, I am so thankful that I met her. I think I've been waiting to meet a woman like this my whole entire life. Here's somebody who says that African culture in its essence was never meant to dehumanize women. It was never meant to remove the equal status that women occupy in society. That this is something new, that Ukuthwala is bad according to our own standards, not according to constitutional standards, according to us. I came into this area looking for something positive about Ukuthwala, believing what I was told, you know, that this is our culture, this is who we are. And it's not who we are. And that's why it feels so bad in my spirit, because it's not true. It's not true. And I'm deeply grateful. I walked into the Eastern Cape looking for value and merit in the practice of Ukuthwala. And what I discovered is that there are people who are able to use it as a way of avoiding the exorbitant costs that come with getting married. And maybe that's a positive thing. But for the vast majority of people, it's still violent, it still destroys women's rights, and it still creates a lot of pain in women's lives. One thing that I also saw is that this thing seems to happen in communities where people don't have money. I don't think rich girls from rich families are being twalad, or, you know, girls from families that come, the girls that come from families that have status and position in society, I don't think those girls are being twalad. I think it is poor girls in poor communities. But the most powerful realization that I've had is that our cultures are not inherently patriarchal. That patriarchy is something that's very new. The imbalance was created with colonialism, and practices like Ukuthwala are a result of that new imbalance. So it means that they're not an inherent part of who we are, and therefore they can be done away with. And for me, that's very empowering as an African woman. To those men who believe in the divinity of their origins, who walk with their children hand in hand at their pace, who submerge in our rivers to be baptized by balance, 1,000,000 hills are calling for your voice. Hurry, the silence is screaming. Give me a new set of eyes to help me see the new state of mind.